If they never hated me before, you gon' hate me now. See,
what's going on, man? It's your big brother K Reno, and once again, y'all are tuned in to another episode of the Underground Podcast, Underground Dialogue Podcast, where the name speaks for itself. And we are honored to have our first guest in the building today, man. This brother here, man. I would have to take an hour to just do the real introduction, so we'll cut it a little short. This brother is a soldier in the Nation of Islam. He's an entrepreneur. He is a diligent helper of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and one of the most intelligent and creative brothers in terms of spreading the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He's a great social media influencer, and we are honored to have our brother with us today. Brother Ben X, how you feeling, family member?
I'm feeling black-tastic.
There it is, man. Well, first of all, man, thank you for coming on. Me and my brother Keisto, we're very honored to have you on the program. And again, you are our first guest. We want to get right into it because it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in this world, but we want to give people kind of a feel of who you are and introduce yourself to the audience that may not be aware of you, because, you know, we know that so many people are aware of you. But just give people kind of a brief rundown of your journey and how you got going in this fight that we in.
I like to always talk about how I was born. So I was born in prison. The first time I met my biological father, or saw my biological father, was in his casket. I recall seeing my biological mother maybe one time when I was younger. With that, I had 21 biological brothers and sisters. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talks about how Allah shapes you in the womb, oftentimes leads you to your purpose. Like for him, he said that his mother tried to abort him 3 times, and in attempting to abort him 3 times, she got closer to God. So the minister, naturally, as she's praying and she's going through what she's going through, she's afraid and praying, getting closer to God, she was able to birth out one who had a closeness with God as well. I like to tell that story because although I was born in prison and have 21 biological brothers and sisters, I grew up in a household as the only child. I stayed with my biological mother's cousin and her husband, my dad. And that's how I began to express myself through videos. I began to, notice that, everybody else got these brothers and sisters that they can talk to. I got 21 of them and I ain't got nobody to talk to. So I was looking at doing skits. So I would talk to myself in these skits. And that was my way of expressing things that I was going through mentally. Maybe if I wanted to help somebody, I would be the person that I'm trying to help, and I'll be talking back and forth to myself. And this also, I believe, gave birth to my entrepreneurship spirit as well. So when you think about how to give birth to a God, the minister says that what the mother is thinking and what she's put into her body and her mind is going in the womb of her and going into the child. So I started to think, man, not too long ago, what was the thoughts of my mother? If she's in prison, she's having thoughts about liberation. If she's in prison, she's having thoughts about being free. If she's in prison, she's having thoughts about not being confined. So it's no coincidence to me that I think when I was very young, I thought to myself, man, I don't want to go to school all these 12 years just to get a diploma and live this same lifestyle for the next 40 to 60 years. Meaning I'm getting up every day, going to a place I don't want to go to, school. Daddy gotta wake me up, mama gotta wake me up. Yeah. Why would I go live a job type of lifestyle for the next 40, 60 years and I done did this 12 years knowing I don't like it? So I think that gave birth to my entrepreneurship spirit of wanting to be free, wanting to do for self, but also wanting to free my people. So although I was born in prison, now God has put me on a path to free my people mentally and spiritually from the hell and the jail that they've been put in.
Wow. Hold on, man, because now I gotta ask you. Okay, so you said you only saw your biological father for the first time was at the funeral. Okay, what was the relationship, if you don't mind me asking, with your mother? Did y'all have?
No.
You said you didn't go.
So, I just recall seeing her once, maybe.
Is she still with us?
Both of them died. I don't know how my father died. My mother died of overdose of crack cocaine. And I just, heard stories about them, here and there that I maybe I vaguely remember, but we didn't have a relationship either.
And how old were you when your mother? This
is in 2004, so I think I was 12, 14, something like that.
Okay, now the reason I'm asking that question because this speaks to the greatness of God.
Let's go.
Because I ain't know that for a brother to not have either parent, it's tough enough to just have one or father missing. Typically the mother's there and the father may not be there, but to not have either parent, and I'm sure you had others that stepped in and did that job of raising you, but I know from my own father who never laid eyes on his father, my dad 70. So it still affects him, in a different way, even if he doesn't outwardly show it, it's still something that affects you. So for you to ascend to the level that you're on right now and to rise up and to be doing the work that you're doing right now, when, in my opinion, I can't speak to that because I still have both my parents, but in my opinion, when you get to that point where you start to think about the fact that I don't have a mother, I don't have a father, that's a fork in the road type of moment where you can choose to let that take you left and go the negative route, or you can say, okay, well, I'm gonna build on that and I'm gonna go right and build from the ground. So, hey man, that's commendable, bro.
What I heard from him when he said that, and just piggyback what you just said, what really got
me.
We'll build on it. We won't piggyback. What really got me. Veggie I'm long way right now. But what I really got from that, he was saying, even though he didn't have those two, he still had something he needed to get out. And he couldn't talk to anybody, so he pulled up his camera and talked to the internet. And the crazy thing of how God works is he used that to build him up. He used just that part of him. I can have nobody to talk to, so focus it here. And from this channel, we're gonna grow it.
And even though he didn't have his parents or may not have had a relationship, just like he said, it was still something in them.
Yeah.
From the thought that still resonated in him just genetically to where he's doing this kind of work. So to still give honor to his mother, to your mother and your father, because it was something that they still had that instilled in you, brother, and then with the teachings adding on to that, brother.
And look at this, the crazy thing, this is a crazy thing. He said he has 21 brothers and sisters, right, biological, but his name is Brother Ben. So everybody that got used to you is Miss Brother Ben. So you probably got now millions of more brothers and sisters, because we address you as Brother Ben.
Yes, sir. How's it going? Look at that.
Man, that's amazing. And I'm glad you mentioned the skits because that was my first introduction to you. Mm-hmm. Brother Ben would do these skits where he would portray the role, he would create a scenario between a member of the Nation Islam, brother, trying to sell a paper, to what we refer to as lost found, this brother in the street.
Okay.
And he would walk up to the car, brother, find a car newspaper. And when the camera flipped to the brother in the car, it's Brother Ben too.
I'm a damn nigga. What's going on? What's going on, brothers? Hey, I just want to introduce you all to the Final Call newspaper, man. Y'all ever had one of these? Final Call News? Nah, I never had one of these. What's this? Who you? Yeah, black-owned newspaper that goes out every week, man, just to keep the community conscious about what's going on in the world, man, and give you knowledge itself, man. Go ahead. Yeah, check that out. Final Call newspaper. Oh, you with you with Farrakhan? Then y'all killed Malcolm? No, they didn't kill Malcolm, boy. Oh no, sir, man. That's what they want everybody to think, man. But nah, that ain't what happened, man. Man, how you know? Cause I was watching Vlad TV the other day. They was just interviewing Malcolm X's daughter. She said that they even tried to apologize to her, and they said they had nothing to do with the Nation of Islam. I mean, come on, bro. You know about COINTELPRO. Y'all niggas ain't got no bean pie. No, y'all got the bean pie. Now, I ain't got no bean pies on me though. We trying to get some. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get some in maybe this month for you. Alright, well shit, I'm gonna go and get you a paper, man. I'm gonna go and get you a paper, support Black Beard, you know what I'm saying? Black Beard, you understand me? I support Black Beard, you know what I'm saying? I be on that, you know what I'm saying? I be on that Black Power stuff, bro. It's just, you know what I'm saying? I'm really just still learning, you see what I'm saying? Okay, well that's a bet then. I'm gonna come up there and I'm gonna mess with you then. Alright then. You still, yeah, the $2? Oh yeah, you $2.
And he's giving the interaction that is a real interaction between brothers who, oh man, I want that paper, man. And I think that was such a beautiful way to be relatable to both sides, because the people who have experienced selling that paper, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's how it be. And the people who have loved the paper, rejected the paper, interacted with the brothers, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's how it be. So he even did one with the bean pie, which was my favorite one, because as somebody who, you know, eat bean pie religiously, he did a skit where he was introducing a brother to the bean pie for the first time. And I did the same thing in real life. Like, I had some guys come to the crib, friends of mine, but there was one guy I didn't know. He was with one of my partners. And I said, man, y'all want some pie? And they knew what the pie was. They knew it was bean pie, but the other brother didn't. So they eating pie, and all of a sudden one of my homies said, man, this bean pie go hard. And the other brother said, bean pie, man. He said, oh man. Like we had tricked him or something. Like, now the pie halfway gone. So I'm like, what's wrong? It just spoke to the mentality that people have towards Muslims, and like all of a sudden he didn't like the pie no more.
Right.
You know, I'm like, dude, you almost ate your hand off eating the pie. So I mean, I think how you did those skits, brother, was really such a great way to be relatable. Let me ask him this real quick.
Okay.
But in the spirit of Brother Ben, I wanna hit him with a couple of questions that I know that the general public may not have answers to, but they may wonder why. And just simple things like you being Brother Ben X. So people say, okay, well, you know, I heard of Malcolm X, and you know, a lot of people don't really understand what the X represents in the Nation of Islam. So they might have thought that, oh, he's just Malcolm X because that's just what he like. He was a rapper. He just named himself Malcolm X. Explain to the people why the X is there in the nation and why the brothers and sisters carry the X.
Well, like Malcolm X, we all got our X from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad giving us this name when we write our letters to Master Father Muhammad. The letter X, well, I'll start with this. The way that we got the name that you may have now was through slavery. So when you look at the last name Jones, when you look at the last name Johnson, Smith, things of this nature, that showed that you was a part of that particular plantation. So you was a part of the Smith plantation, the Jones plantation, the Petty plantation. And so this is how they was able to keep track of who they niggas was. When we're in the Nation of Islam, we're saying that we're accepting our own and being ourselves. And what is ourselves? In our supreme wisdom, it says, a righteous Muslim. Well, Brother Ben, I'm not no Muslim. Well, a Muslim simply means one who submits their will to do the will of God. So if you accept to live your life like a righteous human being, you are by nature and by title a Muslim. But the X, when I joined the Nation of Islam, I'm saying I'm an ex-nigger. I'm saying I'm an ex-slave. I'm saying I'm an ex-tool of my enemy, and I am taking on a holy name. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad even called it a holy name. I know some think the holy name is just Muhammad, but X is a holy name that's going to be accepted in the hereafter. So that name is a name that's simply given once you join the Nation of Islam and we say, hey, I'm no longer the enemy's slave. All of my accomplishments, you won't be able to attribute it to Brother Ben Smith, Brother Ben Johnson, Brother Ben. You're going to say Brother Ben X. And when that X is on there, you know who I'm representing.
Beautiful, 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 man. Also, being the social media influencer that you are, brother, your impact, your whole, correct me if I'm wrong, but your whole brand and your whole, the named exposure, Brother Ben X, was built from social media.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Now, we've seen how the enemy attacks anybody that's telling the truth on social media, particularly black people, starting with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, when they have stripped him from all the platforms, and anybody that represents him, they fall under those same type of attacks, yourself, Brother Reza, and others. What has it been like fighting that fight when you are a social media influencer whose impact is felt through those platforms? What's it been like when they take your YouTube channel and you start up and they take your YouTube channel, knocking you all off of the platforms? How do you navigate through that? Because I'm gonna tell you something that I heard you say after you answered this question that stuck with me. But explain that, how you navigate through that.
For me, the first time it was kind of hard because that was one of my main streams of income that I was bringing in at the time.
This is on YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay.
on YouTube.
Right.
But when it happened, I just put my mind back on the minister, and I put my mind back on the scripture, where it says that when you pick up your cross and follow me, you'll be persecuted, you'll be lied on and hated on for my name's sake. And I heard the minister, I think, say one time, like, if we know Christ was persecuted, if we know Christ was, he wasn't liked, he wasn't loved. If I'm loved by this world, if I'm accepted by this world, I gotta question myself. Am I really following Christ?
Come on now.
So when I got terminated, it validated something in me that I was doing the work.
Right.
Because we know that Satan is the god of this world.
Right.
It says that even in the scripture, he's the god of this wicked world, though. So if I'm on social media, a big platform reaching millions of people with the truth, and they don't like it, they shouldn't like it.
Right.
Because in the Quran it says, respite me until the day that they'll raise. Well, if respite simply means delay my doom, then if I'm doing something, they trying to stop me from raising the people, and they stopping my particular page, that let me know I'm probably raising them by the thousands.
Come on. Mm-hmm.
So although my money had went down, although my main stream of income went down, I think my stock went up with the God.
Man.
So that's how I just do it, and how I navigate it is just continue to rise above emotions into the thinking of God. The same way I built it up the first time, I create a new channel, I build it up the second time. And what I got smart with is, I learned to use social media instead of letting it use me.
Right. Okay.
And what I mean by that is, I had 100,000 plus subscribers at the time. I didn't have no email list. I didn't have a text list at the time. So now when I'm posting on social media and people are going to my platforms to learn about digital real estate or learn how I make money and X, Y, and Z, I got their email, I got their name, I got their phone number. So I'm allowing the free advertisement through social media, but I'm getting the data this time. And so now I can sell my own product instead of depending on YouTube to put their advertisement, pitching somebody else's product, paying me a little small percentage. I said, well, what about if I have my own video, my own business in front of my own audience, and then all that money that they going to spend on these commercials, they going to my company. Now I'm making the money off social media. Then YouTube is just the bread and the butter. So that was the shift that I made. And then when it comes to social media, I just keep rebuilding it back up.
Built his own network, and it was amazing because somebody had said something. Somebody said, well, man, why we keep on trying to go through their platforms if they gonna do this, and they don't want the truth out there and all that. And this is what you said, but you said, well, YouTube and Instagram, this is where our people are located at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we gonna keep going to where, because when you said that I did this, I said, oh, okay, all right, yeah, because part of me would think that too, because they shut me down one time too, so I got me a strike too, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But because I thought about that, but then it's like, yeah, we ain't gonna stop going to where our people are at, and it was your words saying that put that in my mind. I was like, man, this young brother is an old soul, wise beyond his years, So I want to thank you for saying that and putting it in your big brother like that. But
well, about this
go
digital real
ahead,
estate.
Keith, go ahead. Yeah, I know you want to get to that.
I
Go
always
ahead.
wanted to see, what is digital real estate? Is it like domain names, or what we're doing with it?
I mean, you can sell domains. So like, for example, this building, how much is this building a month? Or this room?
Like about
office space.
like 600.
600, right? So whoever owns this, when we pay them the $600, it goes to them. So that's about the same amount of money that somebody would get probably for a house as well. So if I'm getting the fourplexes, they would probably say, I'm renting out these 3, and these 3 that's renting from me, it's my mortgage, but they renting from me, I'm gonna charge them a little bit more, is enough to pay off this. So I'm gonna get about maybe 500 profit here, 500, maybe 600 profit. And what I said to myself was, man, this one video that I did made $1,000 by itself. This one video made $2,000. I got a Facebook page where we made $67,000 in 1 month on Facebook. So I look at my Facebook, my Instagram, and my YouTube like an apartment. What do I mean by that? Well, if I go to the apartment got 100 doors. Each door gonna generate some income. Well, on my YouTube channel, each video is generating income, and I'm getting paid from it on a monthly basis. So then that's one aspect of it. Then I say, what is your light bill, your electricity bill, and your insurance bill and phone bill? What do they all have in common?
Light bill, insurance bill, you gotta pay them monthly.
Gotta pay them monthly. So now, instead of me having property, how about we monetize our intellectual property? Because there's something that you have, something that you've experienced, if we don't look so what happens is many of us, we look so down on ourselves and we don't think much of ourselves, so we don't think that we valuable. I don't care if you was a prostitute, I don't care if you was a pimp or old killer. Brother Neary said there's 2 ways for you to learn. You can learn from experience or you can learn from someone else. So even my mistakes have value, because the mistakes that I write in this book is going to help you avoid the mistakes that I made. So if I can create a course, if I can create a program for those who would like to learn more about how I use my gift, because the scripture says my gift will make room for me and bring me amongst great men. So once we discover our gift, now I put this in the program. Now, if I look at my phone bill may be $80. You may say, well, that's not a lot of money, Brother Ben. But $80 times 10,000 people is. $80 times 100,000 people is. $80 times 4,000 people is. So what digital real estate is now I'm showing you how to set up your digital assets. You getting paid in your sleep from this ebook. You getting paid in your sleep from these ads. You getting paid in your sleep from the program that you make. And so now you got a whole ecosystem online where you can get paid in your sleep. So and it's a lot easier than physical real estate. You may have some squatters where some people don't want to leave and you got to hire security to get them out. If I want you out, I hit 2 buttons. Your name and hit the block button. I ain't got to worry about none of that. Get you on up out of there. So and it may take 6 months to build a new build. But it take me 6 minutes to make a video. So I can pump them videos out all day and I'm getting 500, 600, 800 from these platforms, man. So that's what digital real estate is. And then I'm taking it to another level where you can invest your money now. And I have this system and this program that I'm a part of where you can make 4.15% on your income per week. Now, a lot of us save our money in the bank. You're looking at Chase, Bank of America. How much percent are you getting on that money per year?
I learned that you put your money in that bank, it's just dead money.
0.000 some percent. Well, you say, well, that's a little some percent, but then you got to think about inflation every year as well. So if you look at inflation and then you look at the amount of money that is going up, you're actually losing money by keeping it in the bank. So with this percentage, with this program that I have, you invest your money just like you would in any type of real estate, but you making 4.15% on your income weekly, meaning over 300% over an 18-month time span.
Like a hedge fund over there.
Nah, I mean that's so creative, man. That's a blessing. That's a gift, brother, to just build something from nothing like that. Because that formula, the way you laid it out, a drunk monkey should be able to figure that out and implement that. So study this, what brother's saying, and make sure that y'all. It's no excuses in 2022 for us to not be able to do something for ourselves and build something for ourselves. I gotta touch on this before we get you out of here. With the Kyrie situation going on and all of the backlash that he's been receiving from the Jewish community. A lot of people, you hear a lot of black people say at times, will say, well, man, they should just start their own league. They should just do everything themselves. And I say the same thing. They are the power. The real power is not the Jews who paying them. The artists in music are the power. The athletes in sports are the power. What do you think prevents them from saying, if all of the multi-million-dollar athletes and what prevents us from going, all right, we're gonna withdraw and just build our own thing? Is it that difficult? Is it that easy? We just not doing it? What's your opinion on that?
The minister recently spoke on this. He talked about how many of us going to school and basically we're using our talent. Yeah. And he says, we have the talent, they don't have the talent, but they unite and they get the venues and the things of that nature and they benefit big off of our talent. Yeah. So if they able to pay us $1 million, $2 million, $40 million, you know how much money they got to be making on the back end. But the reason I brought up that we're going to school to be athletes and not necessarily businessmen or to be educated is because it's all, my answer is similar to when people say, why don't we just create our own platform? Not what you said, but another aspect that I brought up is, like, in order for our platform to be free, we have to have millions, billions of dollars to compete with a YouTube. So what do I mean by that? The reason YouTube is free, it's not free, but it is free. It's free for users, but YouTube is getting paid because they got multi-million-dollar advertisements backing them saying, put this in front of these commercials. So if I was to make anybody can literally go make a free YouTube thing, but you ain't gonna be making no money. Why? Because ain't no multi-million-dollar businesses gonna put their advertisement in front of what you're saying. So for us to say, well, let's just go create our own so we can say what we want to say, we can do that at any time. But economics is important if we're going to compete with a YouTube, with a Facebook. How do I know that? Because when I was on Facebook, I got over 500 million views on Facebook alone. There was a black company that wanted to partner with me and do marketing, but because I was FOI and still with the minister, they couldn't do business with me because of what I speak about. So if we was to do a platform, we have to, if it's going to make sense business-wise, we have to charge $9.99 or $4.99 in order to take care of the tech, the team, the staff, all this, what to make sense.
The servers, the servers just alone, with all those videos, the servers just alone got to be crazy.
So now think about, who am I trying to reach? I'm trying to reach the dead. The dead see $9.99. Hell, I'm not finna sign up $9.99 to watch some videos. So now I'm not even reaching. Some people gonna sign up, but that's the conscious people. That's the people that's already woke, the people that are already with it.
Not gonna be enough.
Yeah, but Shaquita ain't signing up for $9.99. Lil Bam Bam not paying $4.99 to be on the platform, so it wouldn't really make sense. So I'm saying all that to say, I think that they got these big contracts. Maybe they're in the contracts, they gotta finish their contract or whatever. But I also think like there's so much business that takes place with building the league. It's not just let's put our money together and run a league. Everybody meet me at the gym at 5. Like we gotta know what's going on behind the scenes. How's the GM ran? How's this ran? How's this? Yeah. So that's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, study the operations of the white man, because he's successful. He said he works together in a collective manner and makes no excuses for his failures. So if we was to look and go to school for the structure and how he operates, then maybe we would have the education on how to start a basketball league. But all of our top players, they good at sports, but they may not be good at business. They good at sports, but they may not be good in operations. So what I think a solution would be, obviously, Brother Ice Cube got a lead. Yeah. Shoot, we can start off with the 3-on-3 and grow from there. This brother already got the team, obviously. Already got the structure, got some figured out. Let's pool our money into that. Shoot, we'll watch 3-on-3 with LeBron and Kyrie and all them type of people. So I think that would be a good solution. But I always thought before Cube started, I'm like, I'm with that solution. I do think that's the ultimate solution, but I'm also saying, well, damn, they don't know business like that probably. And then they gotta depend on an advisor. And if your advisor is a Jewish guy, shoot, who knows that he ain't? I mean, we already heard Master P say that they'll get a Jewish agent. The Jewish agent know the other guy, so they doing back deals. He gonna hire his homeboy. So you don't know finances, you don't know economics, so you need somebody to manage your money. He gonna advise you to do X, Y, and Z. So they still may be winning in the end. So I think once we start to, as black people, get into the industry where we want to be the owners and we don't just want to be the players. I don't think there's nothing wrong with being a player, but we also need some people that's going to be the owners of this, the owners of the team, understand the operations, and do some money management so the brothers can know that they can trust their own kind with their money and things of that nature. And that may take time, because growing up in the hood, If you grew up in the hood, the only person that robbed you was your brother.
Yeah.
The only person that did this was your brother. Not that that's the only reality, but that's your reality and what you grew up in. You don't see the hidden hand white man per se unless you come get some teaching like this where the minister going to expose it. So I think all that is going into the mind of the athletes and stopping them from probably doing it.
I remember you said last week, he said that we are very great at producing the product, but they are very great at manipulating and extorting the product.
Their talent is the use and exploit us. That's the only talent. Talent that they got. Yeah, no question about that. That's beautiful. Because it's just like in the rap game. It's the same thing. It's like the rappers may be a little ahead of the game in terms of comparing it to sports, because the rappers will, hey, I'm gonna start my own label. I'm gonna have all my people in place, and realizing that hey, everybody can't be out in front of the camera. Somebody got to be behind it. Somebody got to be behind the scenes, handling everything with the money. And even like how LeBron got his setup going with Rich Paul and Maverick and all those guys that are in his circle. You know, they got a good thing going. They just got to build on it and free it up a little bit more, make it a little bit
And I also think that, dang, what was my point I was gonna make? Man, I had a good point I was gonna bring up. Maybe it wasn't meant for me to say.
We'll come back to you.
Dang, dang, man.
You talking about the rap game, we talking about the sports game, we talking about trying to rewind them,
What's the guy that the young brother out of New York that went to prison? He just got out. Is it Bobby something?
Bobby Smurda?
Bobby Smurda.
Bobby Smurda. Oh, yeah, I'm like, what? Oh, no, I know Bobby Smurda rapper, yeah.
So
Bobby Seal, I'm like, nah.
So what I was going to say was I think a lot of us need to have a better understanding of what success is.
Okay.
So a lot of them see that upfront $1 million as success, and we don't have patience enough to say, I can't get the $4 million right now, but my legacy is going to be worth $1 million if I'm patient. See, as long as they can front us the $1 million, front us the $10 million, front us the $20 million to a young brother, well, I'm going to stay over here. Because over here, I got to build to the $10 million. Over here, I got to build to the $20 million, and this may take 10 years. Do I really want to wait 10 years when I've been in the hood and I've been working hard, going to the gym, mama been struggling? Do I want to wait another 20 years just to build it up? Do I care about the people that much? Do I care about my past generation that much? Or do I want to say, man, I done struggled all my life. I want the 10 million right now. I want the 20 million right now. So we hear the minister recently talk about how when they took away Ye's contract, he said how quickly he lost $1 billion. The minister said, did he really have it? He wasn't saying to Ye or anything like that, like he wasn't a billionaire. His point was that was a contract. Not necessarily that these rappers and things of that nature have it in their hand right now. Yeah. So do we really have it if they can strip it away so fast? So when I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking like, yeah, these young brothers gotta have a paradigm shift to understand what success really is. It's not just your temporary 10 million that you're gonna get, your temporary 20 million that you're gonna get. If you're patient enough, you may be worth more than that, and your children gonna have more than that, but you might be 70. You might be 60.
It's what you said. It's called playing the long game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because when you say 10, 20 million, hard to turn down. Man, 250,000 for some people.
Yeah.
Half a million, because to a brother who ain't never seen that kind of money in their life, I've seen people sign contracts for 20 grand. Wow. You know, and have lost so much of themselves because 20 grand is just an astronomical figure in their mind. Mm-hmm. If you, I ain't know what I was gonna eat one month. So I mean, that's a tough dynamic, man. You know, but we have to be patient, like you said, to be able to turn down that money. Or if you get that money, have the knowledge to be able to make that money do what it's supposed to do.
And my point with Smyrna was, he said that what's the popular song? I can't think about the popular song right now that he has. But the popular song, Hot Nigga, what was it? That one. He said he don't get paid off of that. They pretty much bought the rights to whatever the case may be. He probably done got paid up front. He said he was doing this interview, I think, with Tony the Closer, and he said, Tony Cole said whenever he saw this girl and she was introduced, she thought about that song. Like anybody who think about him, they probably gonna think about that song first. But he said he don't get, so they gonna pump up the song that they own.
Exactly.
They gonna pump up and blow up the song that they gonna get paid from. So it's like, dang man, this dude, he got the talent they got everybody dancing to the song. But now because they done paid him up front, he don't even get paid for it. So now they gonna do that for as long as they got the contract or whatever, and they gonna make so much money off of it. But he was the talent.
Yeah, I've heard that a couple of times too. Some of the biggest songs we've heard. He's like, I don't even get paid for that.
He's not the only one. He's not the first and the last. That's real prevalent in the music business because we don't know. We come in not having any knowledge of the paperwork, and the contract, and the terminologies in the contract. And again, we so happy to get what we think is getting on that we just in the back end bites us every time. Man. It kills us in the back end, man. That front end money be gone.
That's it, exploiting the talent.
Man, unbelievable. Brother Ben, what you got going on? Anything you got coming up, what you working on that the people need to know?
Man, right now just focus on building this digital real estate program, showing people how to build their brands, build their followings, and just do good business, man, when it comes to marketing. So many of our people got great gifts, services, and products, but they don't know how to make content. They don't know how to market properly. They don't know how to speak to their audience. They still think that their audience is everybody. When if you market it to everybody, you market it to nobody in marketing. So showing them how to find their target audience. So that's what I'm focused on right now. So if anybody's interested in that, you can go to www.drecourses.com. I'm actually doing a 14-day trial where you guys can get the coaching for 14 days and see if I'm talking about, what I'm really talking about. See if it's real, see if it's really some value in there. And it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if it ain't what I say it is, man, you can get your money back, man. But drecourses.com, the digital real estate, growing that is one of my main focuses right now. And then showing people how to, those who have excess money, showing people how to, save it properly and get it out these banks, man, and store it on the blockchain and get 4.1% on your income on a weekly basis. That's what I'm getting into now, showing people alternatives on how to use their money.
Beautiful. Any physical books coming?
Oh man, if y'all want the secret relationship between blacks and Jews books that
where that's at? That's supposed to be on the table right now.
I actually got some in the truck, but I got if you go to www.thesecretrelationship.com, I got a package going, so it's gonna come with the secret relationship between blacks and Jews. It's gonna come with how white folks got so rich and the Final Call newspaper. I call it the true package, so you guys can get that by going to www.thesecretrelationship.com.
Man, look at that How White Folks Got So Rich book. The title speaks for itself. Yeah. Trust and believe, and trust and believe. But brother Ben, we thank you, man, for your time. Look, I went straight ghetto mode to get my brother on the show. With no protocol. I didn't go through the proper channels or nothing. And he agreed to come on. So, we thank you for coming through, big brother. You're welcome anytime. And continued success, may Allah continue to bless you 1,000-fold on everything that you're doing.
Right, man. It's been a pleasure watching you grow too. Because I remember way back when you started to how you are now. That's what I was telling them before you came in. I said, man, it's just been. I want to see you another 10 years and see where you at in the ministry, because I love where you came from, the humble beginnings, how you took the stairs, and to where you get to now.
Man,
that was.
Well, again, y'all, the Underground Dialogue podcast, where the name speaks for itself. Y'all be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you're liking the content, let somebody else know who you think might like it as well, man. It's your big brother, K Reno, and my brother,
Key Stove,
and my brother, Ben X, man. Much love. Salute to y'all. What's up, man? It's your big brother, K Reno. And check this out, man. The Underground Dialogue podcast is offering advertising opportunities, man. You can promote your business. You can promote your video, your song, whatever it is that you have, man. Reach out to us if you're interested in promoting on the Underground Dialogue podcast. All you got to do is email us at undergrounddialoguepodcast@gmail.com. Get it.